We begin with earmarks. This year, members of the House and Senate have put in 32,000 requests to spend your money on pet projects. Last year, they approved $29 billion in earmarked items for everything from schools and hospitals to ski lifts and bridges to nowhere. Get this, they weren't even disclosing who sponsored what until after the fact, after your money was already dished out. Well, today, Illinois Senator Barack Obama became the first presidential candidate to disclose his earmarks. But he's a rarity in Congress and even within his own party, which says it stands for transparency and accountability. CNN's Drew Griffin tonight is keeping him on.
Before they came to power, Democrats vowed to fix the broken earmark process. They promised complete transparency, no secret spending, no backroom deals.
I'm now trying, and so is our leadership, to reduce earmarks by at least 50%.
So, has anything changed? Keeping them honest, we put our intrepid CNN interns on the case. They called the offices of every single member of Congress, asking just one question.
I'm calling with CNN, and I'm trying to see if we can get a copy of the Congressman's earmark request for this year.
I was calling because we were trying to obtain a list of the Congressman's earmark requests.
What they found wasn't exactly a show of complete transparency.
At first, I got quite a few yeses, and so I got all excited and, oh, yay, Congress is being nice to me. And then they said they would email back or call back, and by the end of the day, I had nothing.
Our results, after 3 days of actually calling each and every House office, 34 members of Congress, just 34, sent us their earmark requests. But since then, a wave of pressure has apparently changed some minds. Our report caught the attention of political bloggers demanding Congress release its requests. The Chicago Tribune read an editorial asking why members of the Illinois delegation were being so secretive. And today, Barack Obama raised the stakes in the presidential race.
And guess what? Our interns' phones are now ringing with calls from Congress. 11 more U.S. representatives have decided to release their requests for our money.
As it stands right now, 45 have turned over their requests. 68 flat out refused. 6 told us they did not make any earmark requests. But the majority, 316, never responded. We should note that some we called were downright hostile.
He was really mean about it, though.
Not even letting us finish the question, like an aide to New York Democrat Charles Rangel.
When I called Congressman Rangel's office, I got one of his press aides who, before I could even answer the question, said, "No, I know what you're going to ask me, no." And he said, "Good day," and then hung up on me.
Word of our requests apparently traveled fast in the halls of Congress.
When I called and asked for the earmark request, he was like, no. And he was like, just like no one else is going to give it to you. I knew about you. I heard you were calling. I was waiting for you to call me.
As long as we are not required to release them, we're not going to, said an aide to Louisiana Republican Jim McCreary. But some didn't need our prompting.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Maverick freshman Democrat Nancy Boyda, New York Democrat Kirsten Gillibrand, and Republican John Campbell of California all had already posted their earmark requests on their web pages. Last week, Speaker Nancy Pelosi hailed a new open earmark process, saying finally the American people will know where their money is going. And then she said this.
If I just might direct the record to another place, why don't we just leave this room today forgetting the word earmark? This is legislatively directed spending as opposed to executive spending.
And Ms. Pelosi, for the record, a member of your staff told us you would not reveal your legislatively directed spending requests.
But the pressure is on. Our viewers responding to our blog say they are calling their representatives, asking why they are not putting their earmarks on our poll, a poll we continue to update daily. Drew Griffin, CNN, Atlanta.
You can try calling your congressperson if you have any better luck. Let us know. Congressman Rahm Emanuel of Illinois chairs the House Democratic Caucus. A few days ago, he called us taking exception to some of our earmark reporting, so we invited him on the program tonight to make his case. Congressman Emanuel and I spoke earlier this evening. Congressman Emanuel, you released your requested earmarks on Monday. So far, only 45 out of some 435 congresspeople have actually released the earmarks. Shouldn't the American people know what their representatives want to spend taxpayer money on?
Sure, and they're going to, because that's some of the things that the Democrats have done.
let me take people 2 steps back and then drive through. In the past, nobody knew who was sponsoring anything. Nobody knew what they voted on until the year after the fact, and they found these roads to nowhere and other types of projects. The reforms we put in place is I have to put all my name on every project and every what I call community investment I'm asking for. Second, you know before you vote on it, not a year after the fact. And third, we've cut in half the amount of earmarks. I took the extra step because I want to show everybody there'll be good things and things people want to ask questions about.
There's no doubt that the Democrats have pushed for greater transparency, and some of these new rules are going to ensure that. But still, people are only going to be able to know who requested the earmarks that actually make it into the bill. Right. And what the Democrats were trying to do is trying to make it so that only after the bills had passed the House and the Senate would they actually be revealed.
Two things. One is the ones that are in the bills are the ones you should know about, because those are the only ones that have a chance of becoming law.
No, but shouldn't we know what our congresspeople want to spend our money on?
That's what the constituents will ask for. Do you have your right to know everything? Yes, you do. And that's why 45 of us have taken those steps, and other members will take the steps that they think is appropriate. What happens on the legislation is what has a chance of becoming law, and that's what you're going to know. And remember, it's in direct contrast to what happened for the last 12 years of Republican rule.
You have taken this extra step. You said, you know what, it's important that everybody in the country knows exactly how all my requests, whether or not my requests actually get into a bill, whether or not all my requests are approved, you think it's important that people know. Well, and you should be applauded for that. But most of people in Congress seem ashamed almost, or want to keep this stuff secret. I don't understand why. Can you explain to me?
I understand the desire to say, oh, Congress isn't doing this. I'm going to stick on this one point, and I'm going to Johnny one note with you. We made a pledge. That pledge was kept. Republican Congressman Jeff Flake praised us for that pledge. And so I'm more than willing to say, what more should we do? But I won't get to the what more until we acknowledge that actual real transparency, real accountability was made. That's different than the past. And in fact, Republicans who've been championing this had acknowledged Democrats did the tough stuff to get this done.
I'm going to try one more time and be Johnny One Note on my side.
I'll be Johnny One Note on my side.
I know, we're 2 Johnny One Notes. But you said you said you don't want to
audience share doing that.
You said you don't want to talk about what other Democrats are doing. You are in the Democratic leadership.
Yeah.
Will you advise your fellow Democrats to do what you did and just put out their requests? Again, the only way people know whether these requests are valid or not is and
it's not the only way. It's not the only way.
Well, it really is for us people at home, you know, to be able to go online and look, you know, what does my congressman want to spend my money on, and what do these other congressmen want to spend their money on?
First of all, you know, if a member comes to me and asks, I tell them why I did what I did. No reporter asked me. Nobody in my community asked me, and I understand you say you guys at home, but the fact is, if a member asks my advice, I'll say, hey, let me tell you what my kind of reasoning for this. And I gave him the reason. I led the efforts with other Democrats and Republicans for this type of transparency. The things that I noted to you were done. I led that effort. I took this extra step so people have, not only in the district, in my district, but the larger public, given that you said I have this leadership role, have the confidence of that transparency, that I'm practicing what I preach.
Congressman Emanuel, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Anderson.
Just to make it clear, our mission, keeping them honest, is nonpartisan. You've told us that. You expect no less, and we try to live up to it as best we can.